The following podcast contains strong language and frank discussions of violence. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, everybody.
Good morning, Michael. I got a full night's sleep last night, so watch out.
Yeah, you're going to be able to tell. Because I can tell.
I am full of energy today, guys. Get ready for a goddamn good show.
My question was, did you get too much or not enough sleep? Because
And I said, too much.
Oh, yeah.
Too much. I don't know why. I was exhausted. Exhausted, like to the point I fell asleep on the couch, right? Got up. I zombie walked to the bathroom. I kept my eyes closed the whole time. I was literally feeling the walls to get there. And then I plunked into bed and just went right back to sleep. And that was it. Slept until this morning.
it probably has nothing to do with working a full week at a physically demanding job and, just...
Yeah, but then why don't I sleep good all the time? Sleep well, all the time.
It's probably a diminishing returns situation.
Maybe.
Where you build up and build up and build up. And
I feel like the air was crisp and cool last night. I had washed the bed sheets. They were nice and soft. So maybe it was a combination of everything.
Just the stars aligning to ruin my day.
To ruin your day, Michael.
We've watched several things.
We
lately.
always watch a lot of things.
And
kind of losers in that way. Should probably get out and do some physical activities.
All right. If we're going to have our first fight on the air, it's going to be about that because I'm no loser.
I said
I'm a humongous loser.
we are losers. I didn't say you're a loser.
Yeah.
I grouped us together first of all.
As we always are.
Yeah. And I said we should probably be outside doing some physical activities. Nah.
Well, one of those things we watched in lieu of bettering ourselves was Candy.
Oh, my stars, Michael.
The 5-part Hulu show.
Hulu.
Yeah. And starring Jessica Biel.
And Justin Timberlake.
And Porn Stash from Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
We have Schreiber's brother.
That's right. I was wondering where the hell I remembered him from. That is what he's from. You said that.
I did.
You said it.
Yeah.
And I know I did. And I just remembered it right now.
Yeah.
Which is what I do with most things that you say.
Yes. Welcome to the dynamic of our friendship.
Yes. You tell me things and then like a week later I'll go, why didn't you tell me that?
Yeah.
And you go, I told you like 3 times. And I'm like, no, you did not.
And then I'll just say, yep, you're right.
And then I just smile and I go, oh, I know.
Yeah.
And I walk away like a giant asshole.
Your words, not mine.
Yeah.
So I had a familiarity with the story.
I didn't.
Too many details.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah. So not knowing anything about it, what is your opinion on how they pulled off the storytelling?
Yeah, I liked this. I liked the layout of it, and I really thought the acting was good. And I know you think Jessica Biel is one of these pretty people that can't be uglied up, but I think I didn't look at her and go, "Ooh, she's still so pretty." I bought into it, and I have to say, I was a little surprised at the way that the story played out. I'll leave it at
the
that.
actual story and not the telling of the story, right?
Yeah. Oh, the actual story. The telling of it was good. I like the way that they laid it all out and stuff. But yeah, holy shit though.
But yeah,
like
the
I
ending,
was like you because you finished it first.
Yeah.
And because I kept falling asleep, and so you were like, no, you have to like finish it. You have to finish it. And I was like, yeah, no, I will. And then it took me like 2 nights because I fell asleep again.
Yeah.
And then I finally just watched it during the day so that I wouldn't fall asleep for the 3rd time. And
only fell asleep for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And then literally you were staring at me while I'm watching the ending and I start screaming at the TV. Incredulous.
It's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. I think everybody should watch. I thought it was good. And it was a fast watch too. It didn't like drag on or anything. It was
it's only
quick.
5 episodes.
Yeah.
I think the longest one is like 52 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, you can get through it really quick. But that was something.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of like the Linkletter movie Bernie, where truth is much stranger than fiction.
Which it always is.
Yeah.
Which is why I'd rather watch documentaries and true crime stuff than some made-up movie, because you see the craziest bonker shit and you're like, no, come on. That's ridiculous. That definitely didn't happen. And then you're like, oh my God, this actually happened. Yeah. It makes no sense.
The way Candy's crime plays out is surprising.
Everything about it is surprising. But aside from the movie or the series, we had a fun-filled weekend yet again. We went to the Rhode Island you know what? Rhode Island Comedy Connection should fucking sponsor us for all the times I mention them on this goddamn show.
Or just the number of times that we go.
Or just give us some free tickets. Whatever, it's cool. But we went to the Rhode Island Comedy Connection again. To see Sam. Okay, so I call him Sam Morrill.
Yeah.
But the guy who introduced him on stage said Morrill. Did you catch that?
I did.
And I was like, oh, I've been saying it wrong this whole time. So Sam Morrill / Morrill, I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong one way or the other. But he was so funny.
Well, he is about to tape a special, he said.
Yeah.
This week.
Yeah.
So his act was pretty polished where it needed to be.
It was pretty good. And then he tried out some new stuff.
Yeah.
On us. And I thought he was very, very funny.
His crowd work was great. Can't say the same for the crowd.
Yeah. I just feel like, can everybody shut the fuck up when you go to a show? You're not the show. Yeah. I didn't pay to see you, random white girl, rosé all day, fucking white girl wasted next to me at the table.
Right.
Or belligerent drunk guy 2 tables down, or what is that? Just shut the fuck up and enjoy the show, dude.
No, it's part of it, man.
No, it's not part of it. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No. Nobody paid good money to see you yell dumb shit. If you were funny, maybe you'd be up on stage. Nobody paid for you to fucking yell shit out.
I don't pay to go to a concert to watch some guy in the audience try to play Freebird on his acoustic guitar.
On his air guitar. Yeah.
That's the level we're talking about.
Exactly.
Here.
Yeah. It's
You're not
can
funny.
You just please be quiet and let us watch the guy who's spent hours and hours honing his craft. Yeah. Let's do that instead. A lifetime of honing your craft. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, from one kind of annoyance, be quiet in comedy clubs, to another, unsolved mysteries.
Ooh, which was a show when I was a kid, and the theme music to this day sends chills up my spine, Michael. So scary. That fucking music is so scary. I can't even listen to it now.
Robert Stack is a pretty scary
yes, individual. But even you know how they revamped it and it's back on the air now? Mm-hmm. I hadn't heard the theme song since I was a kid, and I was like, oh my gosh, Unsolved Mysteries, and I put it on, and as soon as that music hit, I started to sweat. I was like, oh my God, oh no. And I completely went back to being a little kid, just being terrified in my room watching it. Why? Why am I watching this in my room by myself as an 8-year-old, just terrified?
Well, luckily when I tell you unsolved mysteries, you just get mad.
Yeah.
So this week we have an unsolved mystery for all of you. Not to spoil the story, but we talk about the disappearance of Dorothy Jane Scott. And
poor Dot.
Yeah, it was a different time when all of this was happening. So she may have behaved in certain ways that these days we may not think of as maybe the most self-preservation moves to make.
Yeah.
Getting random phone calls and then going outside to see what's going
on. No.
Yeah, but
hey, listen, guys. If you start getting weird phone calls where someone says, "I left something for you outside," maybe don't go outside and see what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's just me.
Yeah.
You guys do you.
Yeah.
If you really feel like you want to go out there. But I'm going to just give you a pro tip. Stay in the goddamn house.
Yeah. And what qualifies you as a pro to be able to dispense that information is that you are still alive.
I'm still alive, and I'm very suspicious of people, and I don't like getting weirdo phone calls, menacing phone calls that say, I left you some. Well, what is it then? You can just tell me, because we're now having a discourse together. In the moment, in the present. Yeah. I don't need to use my eyes. You can just tell me what it is.
Got 5 senses.
Let's use them all,
You're
guys.
engaged with one of them right now, so let's continue with that all.
One. And also use our 6th sense, intuition.
There you go.
Thank you.
Well, typically only women have that anyway. So.
Well.
But we'll jump over to the story, and hope you enjoy.
Please enjoy
Our wares and sundries.
goods and sundries.
This is the unexplained story of Dorothy Jane Scott.
How are we meant to discuss it if it can't be explained?
Wild speculation.
I am down.
Dorothy Jane Scott disappeared on May 28th, 1980 in Anaheim, California.
Think that makes her a Taurus?
Makes her something.
Makes her disappeared.
She was a single mother living in Stanton, California with her aunt and 4-year-old son.
Single moms, eh?
Now, this is an odd detail.
Okay.
These next two pieces of information. She was a secretary
That is odd. Ugh, weird.
for these two stores that were jointly owned. One sold psychedelic items.
Wait. Like those fuzzy posters you put black lights on, or like
Yep.
mushrooms?
Lava lamps.
Like psilocybins? Okay.
Well, the other
Yeah.
was a head shop.
Oh, Jesus. Why didn't they merge together and then just make a killing?
The Walmart of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Walmart of weed, if
Yeah.
you will.
Co-workers and friends did describe her as kind of shy, though. She preferred staying at home, was a devout Christian,
Oh, boy.
and neither drank nor did drugs.
Straight edge.
Does weed count? I just don't understand how she... I don't know.
No, I mean, let's get real, Mike. Weed is not the gateway drug.
No.
I think we all know that if it was, I'd be in big trouble.
You've gone through that gate.
I've smashed through that gate. Love you, Adam.
Her parents lived in Anaheim, babysat for the kid while she was at work.
Okay.
And her father, Jacob, said that Dorothy may have dated on occasion, but there was no steady boyfriend as far as anybody knew.
Okay. So there might be someone in secret, but...
Potentially, but
Potentially, but we don't know.
we don't know.
Okay.
Now, this next sentence is a bit of a spoiler.
Oh, geez.
Months before her abduction,
Okay.
she'd been receiving strange phone calls at work from an unidentified male individual.
Ugh, I don't like that. Okay.
Now, he was a bit of a character.
Every time he called up, he was like, "Hello, may I please speak to..."
Not exactly.
Okay.
He would alternate between professing his undying love and his intent to kill her.
Oh my fucking God. What? He's like, "Hey, babe, just checking in, seeing how you're doing. Hope you had a great day. Also, P.S., I'm gonna fucking murder you.
I love you. I'm going to kill you.
I love you. I hate you."
Her mother, Dorothy's mother, recounted one day he called and said to go outside because he had something for her.
No.
She
No.
she did go out.
No.
This was 1980.
Dorothy,
She went out and you'll never guess what.
get a
she
fucking
found.
grip. Yeah, a dead animal with a fucking love note attached to it.
A single dead red rose on the windshield of her car.
I mean, I guess that's better than like a dead squirrel or a cat. God.
Now, Dorothy's mother said that this call in particular horrified the daughter. The man reportedly told her that he would get her alone and, quote, cut her up into bits so no one will ever find her.
Jesus. But they have no idea who this is.
No.
No idea. Just a random... You know what?
Yes.
Side note. I once dated a guy, not a nice guy, and he would literally call my job and pretend he was someone else, or have someone else call my job and say all this crazy shit, and then would like come to my rescue. Wicked psychopath. Like, he's dead now, knock on wood, but yeah, not a nice guy. I don't like this guy. And first of all, you don't go outside.
Correct.
Never, ever, ever. This is the type of girl that's gonna run into the basement in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the late 70s, early.
I get a fucking grip, Dorothy, though. I mean, give me a break.
Because of the calls, she started thinking about buying a handgun. And about a week before she disappeared, she started taking karate.
Karate. Right.
I took it for 13 years, probably wouldn't have been able to do anything about this psychopath.
Yeah, I mean, get a gun. Or
So-
while you're waiting, I mean, back then, did you even have to go through a process? Or you just like, you walked into a gun shop, you were like, I'd like to buy a gun, please. And they're like, here you go. Any background check required? Not necessary. Be on your merry way.
9 p.m., May 28th, 1980.
Okay.
Dorothy was at an employee meeting at work.
What time?
9 p.m.
At a meeting at work.
They don't hold regular hours at the head shop,
9 p.m. though, that seems all right. But quit that job immediately.
She noticed that one of her coworkers, Conrad Bostron, didn't really look well. And he had a red mark on his arm.
Okay. Okay.
She and another coworker, Pam Head, which
Hey,
kind of have to work
Pam Head at the head shop.
kind of have to work there, left the meeting to take Bostron to the ER at UC Irvine Medical Center.
Okay. Like
Dorothy-
a rash? Like they don't know what's happening with him?
They weren't 100% sure what it was. They just know he was pale, he looked kind of sweaty, he didn't look right.
Okay.
And they noticed this red mark, so they took him to the hospital. Dorothy did change the black scarf that she was wearing to a red one and stopped by her parents' house on the way to check on the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The people at the hospital determined that Bostron had suffered a black widow spider bite,
Oh, no.
and they treated him.
Oh, God.
Pam Head said she and Scott remained in the waiting room at the emergency room, and at no time, Pam said, did Dorothy Scott leave her side.
Okay, so they're just there waiting for their friend who somehow got himself bitten by a spider.
Yeah.
Okay. Not my favorite.
So the meeting was at 9. By 11 p.m., Bostron had already been discharged.
That's pretty good for going to the ER, man. Yeah. I mean, good for them. That staff was on it.
He was given a prescription for any remaining symptoms. Dorothy offered to bring her car to the exit because she didn't want
whip around to pick them up.
Yeah, she didn't want Bostron to walk too far since he wasn't.
I mean,
feeling
what a
well.
nice friend.
Pam said that Dorothy used the restroom briefly before heading out to the parking lot.
As you do.
Pam and Conrad, Head and Bostron, respectively, filled his prescription at the pharmacy in the hospital.
Yep.
Waited by the exit for Dorothy to come around with the car.
Let me guess. She doesn't show up.
Well, when they did not see her after a few minutes, they went out into the parking lot searching for her. Suddenly, they saw her car ripping towards them, just speeding.
Like at them or
At
just
them.
in their general? Okay.
Its headlights were on full high beam, so they couldn't see.
Okay.
They couldn't see.
This is terrifying.
They waved their arms to try to get her attention, like, hey, we're not at the exit.
Either get her attention or to be like, don't fucking run us over.
Yeah. Obviously, they couldn't see who was driving, but they were like, hey, we're over here, we're not at the exit.
Hey, Dottie.
But the car sped past them and took a sharp right turn out of the parking lot.
So she dips and leaves them, or
Yeah.
her car.
At first, though, they thought that she just had an emergency with her son or something.
Okay. Yeah, well, that makes sense because she does have
And it's 1980, so you couldn't text them.
Right.
So if something had happened, you got to get out of there as fast as you can. He's at a hospital.
But then okay. So, yeah. Okay. How, first of all, the mom, the grandma who's babysitting, would have no idea that they were at the hospital.
Right.
To call her at the hospital to be like, hey, there's a problem with your son, you need to come home. So even if she called him at work,
well,
I don't know that they
the
would...
only time that Dorothy was out of Pam's vicinity was that time she went to the bathroom. So if she made a payphone call,
she could have called home to check in, I guess, and then maybe her mom said, your son is sick, or
and she just
I'm not feeling well.
So at first they're like, all right,
okay, that's plausible.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but whatever, it happens. But a few hours later, they didn't hear anything from her, not even calling their house to be explaining what happened.
Right.
So they reported her missing after just a few hours.
Smart friends. Listen, if I ever go missing for 10 minutes, if you can't get a hold of me for 10 minutes, you better call the cops, buddy.
4:30 a.m. So about 5 later.
So
5
hours
later.
later.
5.5 hours later. Scott's car, Dorothy Scott's car, white 1973 Toyota station wagon, was found burning in an alley about 10 miles from the hospital.
Jesus.
Neither she nor anyone else were
in the car. Just the car's on
nearby.
Fire.
Yes. So she's not there. No one else is there.
Why would you burn a car unless you are trying to destroy evidence?
Now, August 6th.
Unless you just really hate that person. Just like, how are you going to get to work? No, please.
Walk.
Well, yeah.
Taxi.
I mean, that guy who loves her but wants to chop her into pieces would probably give her a ride.
August 6th, 1984. So this is 4 years later. A construction
Wait a minute.
The case goes cold.
The case goes cold for 4 years? That's it? She disappeared off the face of the earth. Her car was found burned. They found no evidence in the car.
Nope.
They found nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing happens for 4 years.
When a construction worker discovered dog and human bones side by side about 30 feet from Santa Ana Canyon Road.
Like, just on the ground? Or they
partially
were excavating?
Buried. Yeah.
I mean...
the bones were partly charred, and authorities believe that they had been there for about 2 years, as a brush fire had swept across the site in 1982. So
they're thinking someone got caught in a brush fire?
Either that, or these remains had been buried, and the fire came and revealed them.
Okay. A dog, too? How's the dog play into all this? This is the worst part of it.
The story could have been a dog walker with the dog got caught in the fire, or it could have been incidental. The dog died, just happened to be
there? That's the saddest part of the whole story so far.
A turquoise ring was found, in addition to a watch. And Dorothy's mother said the watch had stopped at 12:30 a.m. on May 29th.
Okay.
About a half hour after Pam and Conrad last saw Dorothy's vehicle.
Is it her watch, though? Or is it a watch?
A watch that the mother
recognizes. Did she recognize the ring also?
Yes.
Okay.
On August 14th, they were positively identified as Dorothy's remains based on dental records. However, autopsy could not determine a cause of death.
I mean, well, yeah, it's just bones. So unless she actually was hacked to bits.
Right.
But if she was strangled or burned.
Now, this is where it's going to get strange that the case went cold for 4 years before the body was found.
Okay.
About a week after her disappearance, her initial disappearance in 1980.
Yep.
Her parents started receiving phone calls from...
Not from the guy.
The unidentified man who said, quote,
God.
"I've got her," and hung up.
Listen, can you imagine getting a phone call like that?
Nope.
I've got her.
The same man called almost every Wednesday afternoon and said either that he had Dorothy or he had killed her.
They couldn't trace. Can you not trace back in the 80s? What's happening?
Stand by for more information. The calls were usually brief and usually occurred when the mother, Vera, was home alone. In April 1984, the man called during the evening, and Jacob, the father, answered.
Okay.
Miraculously, the call stopped after that. So he was pestering the mother, but as soon as the dad
answered, so yeah, but so what? So this guy's a fucking little bitch. So as soon as the dad answers, he's like, "Oh no, can't call there anymore." What does he think the dad's gonna maybe he thought the dad would recognize him.
After her remains were found, though, in August 1984.
Don't tell me they start getting fucking phone calls again.
Started receiving calls again.
Off.
Police installed a voice recorder at their house.
Mm-hmm.
However, they were unable to trace the calls because he never stayed on the line long enough.
Damn it.
Now, in 1984,
yes,
I don't know how well known the procedure for tracing a call is. So does the fact that he's hanging up quickly either indicate that he's just being a dick and being like, "Ha, I got her," click.
Right.
Or does he know that if he stays on too long?
I mean, I think it's I think everybody knows that, right? Because wasn't that in like every cop show you've ever seen? It's like,
I just don't
keep him on the line, keep him on the line. Like, oh, we didn't get him in time because it took time to like trace these landline calls. But yeah, maybe he's very succinct.
Could be.
Maybe he's just like, "Hey, hi, got her, bye. It's all I had to say. Bye, bye, bye," and then hangs up. Probably I think he knows. Everybody knows that. If you've ever seen any television show ever, he knows.
Okay,
that's my guess. Anyway.
A possible motivation for her murder surfaced not long after she was kidnapped, June 12th, 1980.
Like a month?
An unidentified man called the front desk at the Orange County Register.
Is that a newspaper?
It is a newspaper that had the day prior run a story about the case. A managing editor told police that the man said, quote, "I killed her. I killed Dorothy Scott. She was my love. I caught her cheating with another man. She denied having someone else. I killed her."
But nobody knows that she has had a boyfriend. Not her parents, not her friends. She basically kept to herself. So this is like a guy who's stalking her thinking that he has a relationship with her? Or is it, I bet you, is it a customer who comes in all the time and she's just nice and he thinks, well, in his sick little fucking twisted mind, he thinks, we're in a relationship because she's nice to me and I'm like some weird recluse guy. And then he just goes fucking postal.
It's possible that he was stalking her, following her, and when he saw her take another man to the hospital.
Oh, she maybe thought Conrad was her man and then decided to kill. Yeah, but he was already calling her and saying, like, I'm going to kill you before he even knew anything about her taking this dude. Plus, she was with her friend, the girl, too. How did he know she wasn't taking the girls to the hospital? Was this dude in the hospital, like, watching them?
Well,
but even still, they were all just friends.
The editor said that the caller knew that Bostrom had suffered from a spider bite on May 28th. He also knew that Scott had been wearing a red scarf. She had changed from black to red. Which this was after the employee meeting. So even if he was like watching her through the window at the store or something,
right,
she would have changed it after that. So he was
what kind of maniac notices that though? Like, would you notice if we came in, I had a red scarf and I said, you know what, let me run in quick, I'm going to go to the bathroom and then we'll head back out, and I happen to change my scarf, would you immediately be like, oh, you went from black to red? Like, I don't...
Yes, because I was going to say nice person, but I guess it makes me sound like a psychopath.
I mean, does that make you sound a little anal?
Well.
But, like, I don't know that I would necessarily clock that right away, because to me it wouldn't be important enough. Like,
but if
I would just be like,
that obsessed with somebody.
I mean, yeah. So, but maybe when he took her, he said, why were you here? And she said, I took my friend to the hospital. He had a spider bite. Like, some dude we work with, whatever. He looked sick, and me and my friend, girlfriend, took him. And that's how he knows. Like, maybe, I don't know that he would, like, in the hospital, like, eavesdropping.
Right, that's possible. And she denied having someone else when he cornered her and it's like, why did you take him to the hospital? He's just my friend.
Yeah, he's a work colleague who got bit by a fucking black widow and is about to die, so we had to take him in. I don't know. Can you die from those bites? I don't know.
Probably.
I don't want to find out. Yeah.
Significantly, though, the spider bite and the scarf were details that were not included in that article that he was.
All right, so he definitely knew something that they didn't release in the media.
However, this is where the delusion potentially comes in. The caller also claimed that Dorothy phoned him from the hospital that night. Now, if you remember, Pam said that they were together the entire time, with the one exception of her going to the bathroom prior to getting into the car.
She could have made a phone call. Listen, maybe she had a little piece on the side, but didn't want to be in a relationship or something. Maybe she was just trying to get it in here and there, and this guy wanted more, and maybe she did call him from the hospital to say, I'm at the hospital with my friend Conrad and this chick from work. He got bit by a spider. We're going to be, I'm going to be late, or I have to cancel the date, or whatever.
But put yourself back in 1980.
Yeah.
Unless he lives, like, on hospital grounds, how is he going to receive a call from her and then be there with enough time from just being in the bathroom to then going out to get the car, and then they fill a prescription, get back out. He's making it...
But do you know how long it takes to fill a prescription? You've ever waited for a prescription at CVS? You're there for, like, fucking 45 minutes.
But they're at the hospital.
And? You ever been at the hospital?
Yeah.
Takes forever. I mean, this hospital does seem like they were on it, though.
I mean, 2 hours.
They're in and out in 2 hours. I mean, usually you don't even get seen for 4 hours.
Right.
At least around here, anyway. So maybe he lived close by.
It's possible.
I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibilities.
However, we're never able to figure out who made that call or any of the other calls to the parents, and no one has ever been charged or convicted of this crime.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all we know.
We don't know anything.
Nothing.
Nobody's ever found anything. We just know that she's dead. Yes, those are her bones.
And there were these weird calls.
And they stopped. They
stopped.
What if... No. This can't be. Because you said that
wildly speculate. That's what we're here
all right,
for.
let's wildly... I'm going to get fucking buck wild right now. What if the dad killed her? Because the phone... Okay, this is crazy, but maybe the dad, they're religious. Shout out to all you religious people. It's fine if that's your lifestyle. That's great for you.
You do you.
You do you. I'll do me up over here. But, so they're like religious. She doesn't drink. She doesn't this. She doesn't that. Although she does work at a head shop, which is kind of like,
She is a secretary.
Yeah, but if your family's super religious, they might not like that. But anyway, maybe she was seeing someone or something and out of wedlock. And we all know that's a no-no, right? Or whatever. And the dad maybe... I don't know, because they kept getting these phone calls. But wouldn't she'd recognize her dad's voice, though, because she was getting calls first.
Right.
But the only reason I said that is because the mom was getting the calls when the dad wasn't home. So that's a little sus because,
I should also mention, I don't know why I didn't include it, that the father of her son was immediately ruled out as a suspect as he had corroborating witnesses that he was states away at the time.
Okay. All right.
So that was the only real kind of lead that they had initially, but it was immediately shut down.
But could he be the one making the phone calls, though?
It's possible, but we would
But
have
then
needed
why-
you would
but
have needed
then-
a partner to actually commit the murder.
Yeah. That's bizarre. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like it when... I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't have any idea. The only thing I could think of is if he had an alibi.
And it wasn't like he was a couple towns away where it would have been tricky to do. He was hundreds of miles away.
Hundreds of miles. Okay.
With witnesses and... Yeah.
That is nutty. Oh, I bet you it was just some freaky deaky customer at one of her jobs who got obsessed, somehow got her phone. I mean, back in the day, you could literally just get anybody's phone number. I mean, you just call the operator and go, hey, I want Mike's number. And they go, here you go.
Yeah. Shall I connect you for an additional fee?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
No, my fingers work. I'll save the nickel.
Thank you. Thanks, Ma Belle. But why would they stop once the dad answered the phone, though? Because that just seems... Nobody's that scared of just someone's voice on the phone.
The only explanation I can come up with is that he was calling at a regularly scheduled time, saying pretty much the same thing, talking to the same person. Once that routine gets broken...
You think he's...
Does he expect...
Sketched out?
Does he think they're tracing the calls now? Does he think... Because it stopped the first time.
Right.
And it didn't start again until after the body was found. So...
But then why start again? Then why? I mean, unless you just...
He was getting his jollies.
Getting his jollies from calling. But what if the dad picked up the first time after the body was found? He would have been like, God dang it. Let me fuck... Well, he fucked that up for me.
Now I have to get another...
Now I have to find another lady to hack to bits so I can torture her poor fucking parents. Well, I don't like it, Mike.
And that was the case of Dorothy Jane Scott.
Fucking no suspects. It's bullshit. Fuck this case. Well, Michael, all I could think of is, what if she got a phone call and it was like, you don't want to be with me, Dottie. I'm a loner. A rebel.
Oh, God. A menacing Pee Wee Herman.
Just a menacing Pee Wee Herman and be like, I left you something outside, Dottie. Why don't you go see what it is? Click. And then you go outside and it's his fucking bike. That would have been...
That's a very different movie.
That's a different movie. I would have been ecstatic to get that fucking bike.
David Fincher's Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Oh, what a great film. We should watch that. Not today.
David Fincher's Pee Wee's Big Adventure? Or just Pee Wee's Big
No,
Adventure?
Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Okay.
No, I mean, if David Fincher... I would watch that.
Yeah.
I definitely would watch that.
I would watch Zodiac meets Pee Wee.
Julia would watch that. She'd love that.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Imagine Pee Wee in, like, the Gyllenhaal role.
Oh, wait. Can we just... Okay, so now you just made me think about... Has anybody seen... And I don't know. It just keeps popping up on my Instagram, and I don't know why. this like fucking weird Winnie the Pooh horror movie thing. What is that? So imagine just take that theme and then apply it to like Pee-wee. Yeah. Like Pee-wee's Playhouse, like Cherry just fucking stabbing people to death. Like what? Zombie's head comes out and just starts floating around. Ooh, mecca lecca hi, mecca honey ho. And then he stabs you in the face.
They show what you don't see on the show is Pee-wee sacrificing virgins to Zombie to keep him encased in his prison.
He's like, hey, Pee-wee. He was like way sexual too for like being on a Saturday morning kid show. He was like, ooh, I got new hands, and he's like, I'm gonna be busy for a while, and then he just like, remember that episode? And I'm like, what does he mean? And then later I was like,
I know what he means.
Oh, I know what he means. He's gonna put those hands to good use.
So
it was a weird time. Late 80s, early 90s was fucking bonkers.
Sure was.
So, welcome to the Gen X life.
We can never go back.
Do we want to go back? Maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
For all the things that would be worse going back that far.
I just want to go back to when I had a MySpace. I wish I still remembered my MySpace password.
I mean, that's not quite so far back.
I know, but speaking of throwbacks, I wish I could get my AIM back too. I loved that fucking shit. Those away messages and whatnot. Anyway, I'm 100. Continue.
Yeah. Well, since none of you are 100, follow us on the Instagram or Twitter at MAF Podcast Show. You can email us if you're about 70.
Yes. If you don't understand the social medias.
Yeah. mafpodcastshow@gmail.com. You can check out the YouTube page, Murder Amongst Friends Show. And thank you, everybody, for sticking around for this episode. And hopefully some of you can get enough sleep so you, too, can be in a weird mood.
And hey, fuck this unknown killer that we still don't know who it is. I personally think it was either someone she worked with directly or a weirdy customer that fixated on her. And that's my opinion, my story, and I'm sticking to it.
It seems very likely, especially the customer angle where it wouldn't have any direct, necessarily, connection to her. And the cops
bet it was like her
it
boss or something. One may never know, Michael.
Nope. So all of you armchair detectives, get on it and email us and we'll take the credit. Have a great week, everybody. Goodbye.
And I'm going to continue to torture Michael for the rest of the day. Goodbye.